The recent political activities of our top-notch leaders compelled the general public to feel dismayed about the far-sightedness or lack of it regarding their lust to stay in power. The inside stories of the recent India visit by the CPN Maoist chairman give more fuel to such speculations. One can't help harbor the thought that only if our leaders were equally concerned about meeting public grievances. Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Public at the receiving end as justice remains delayed and denied in Nepali courts due to complex legal procedures. Tens of thousands of cases stranded. Political parties in the race to secure leadership of next government even before announcement of election dates. Coalition partners air contrasting opinions about power share. Sri Lankan Member of Parliament all set to vote for a new president today. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe faces a serious challenge from Dulles Alhapruma. And Spanish giants Barcelona contract Polish striker Robert Lewandowski for 50 million euros. Sellout clause from Bayern set at 500 million euros, fourth high-profile signing this season. Justice delayed is justice denied. However, cases have remained stranded for years in all tiers of courts of Nepal. Most of the courts have failed in concluding the cases of the past 2 years and meeting the targets set in the previous year. The public waiting for justice have been compelled to feel the brunt of such delays. Many citizens seeking justice have been compelled to bear the financial costs for justice they have been seeking for several years. However, there is no certainty about a specific date for justice delivery for them. Cases from as long as 14 years remain stranded at the courts of the country, which has left the public at the receiving end. Around 30,088 cases remain stranded at the Supreme Court at the moment, while 26,104 are yet to receive a verdict at high courts of all the provinces, and 103,288 cases are yet to be concluded in district courts of all the 77 districts. In addition to the piled up old cases, the courts have also failed in concluding the target number of cases set in the previous fiscal year. Challenges have increased in concluding the cases as those crossing 2 to 5 years at district courts and high courts reach the apex court. The district courts have concluded only 52% of the cases this year, while the high courts addressed 51.6% of them. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has concluded just 19% of the cases. Despite the nature of the pretexts, justice delayed is justice denied, and it also serves as an evidence to the weaknesses of the judiciary in the country. Therefore, it is imperative to expedite justice, also to sustain the faith and belief on the judiciary in the country. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What is the reason for delay in concluding cases stranded at the courts? Your options are A, lack of expertise, B, inadequate human resource, and C, complicated procedures. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. A special parliamentary committee is probing into the allegations against former Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma for involving unofficial individuals to tweak tax rates while preparing the budget. The committee, which was assigned 10 days to furnish its report with findings, has spent 7 days on the infamous CCTV footage alone. Analysts and experts have said that the committee should have also prioritized other evidences and witnesses in addition to the CCTV footage while investigating a serious allegation of this magnitude. The probe committee investigating into the allegation against former Finance Minister Sharma, who resigned due to widespread criticisms, has already spent a week for the task, but is yet to find the CCTV footages from the days of alleged involvement of unauthorized individuals. The committee, which has already interrogated the finance secretary and other high-ranking officials, is still spending its time and resources over the CCTV footage. According to experts and analysts, several other possible witnesses and evidences could be investigated in the matter of grave sensitivity as revising tax rates while formulating the budget. Saying that forensic studies could aid in the investigation, they have recommended looking into the call details and tracing locations as well. The delay and lapses in the investigation may also raise questions on the capabilities of the probe committee as well. With the dates for the provincial and parliamentary elections yet to be announced, talks about the next government and its leadership have gained momentum. The statement of CPN Maoist Senate Chairperson Pushpakamal Dahal regarding the share of leadership of the next government in turns has resulted in waves of thoughts in Nepali Congress. Chairman Dahal has recently returned home after concluding his India visit. Meanwhile, the Central Working Committee of Nepali Congress has already decided to contest in the upcoming elections with the coalition and lead the next government as well. Such political developments have led to several questions regarding the rush among political parties to ensure power way before the election. Concluding the coalition had benefited the party in the local level election, the Central Working Committee of Nepali Congress has decided to sustain the alliance for the upcoming provincial and parliamentary polls. The largest party of the current alliance has also decided to form a government under its leadership for the next 5 years. However, at the same time, CPN Maoist Senate Chairperson Pushpakamal Dahal's recent statement has resulted in new discussions in Nepali Congress. The contrasting opinions from the two largest parties of the current alliance has raised questions about the future of the coalition. However, Nepali Congress seems to be taking the situation as a normal political scenario. Nepali Congress appears to be in the mood of operating the government on its own or with the coalition of the five-party after the coming elections. However, despite the CPN Maoist Center, CPN Unified Socialist and Janata Samajwadi Party in favor of the alliance, they have no intention of helping Nepali Congress win a clear majority. They are calling for a coalition government with share of leadership in turns. Meanwhile, political leaders have also begun seeking support of neighboring countries as none of the parties appear to be securing a clear majority on their own. Immediately returning from India, CPN Maoist Center Chair Dahal has spoken about sustaining the coalition for the upcoming election. The spouse of Prime Minister Sherbahadur Deuba, Arju Deuba, has also reached India for her treatment and held political parleys to generate support. Dahal and Rana's India visits have been observed with political significance by analysts. With parties of the coalition competing for leadership before the declaration of the election dates, main opposition CPN-UML has been cornered yet again. CPN-UML appears to be reaping benefits by creating a divide between Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Center. With the election dates yet to be announced, the coalition equation for the polls cannot be determined yet. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces regarding their take on delayed justice to the victims of the insurgency period. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
सरकारले चासो नदेखाएर हो
सरकारले नै यो विषयमा चासो नै लिएको छैन न्याय दिने हो भने उनी आफै फस्ने अवस्था छ
न्याय दिने खालको नियतै राखिएन
एकले अर्कालाई दोषारोपण गरे अनि
सरकारको कमजोरीको कारणले
सत्तासीन पार्टीहरूको कारणले गर्दा
It's time now for the sports news.
Sports News.
Team Nepal's performance at the United States of America and Scotland series under the ICC World Cricket League 2 were disappointing. Poor batting display has appeared as the major reason for Nepal's dismal performance. As the battling aspect of the team is yet to improve, questions have also begun surfacing on the head coach of Team Nepal, Pubudu Dasanaike. At a time when the Cricket Association of Nepal is exploring alternatives for the coach, skipper Sandeep Lamichhane has said that the players have to shoulder the responsibility of the humiliating defeats. After the recent results, Team Nepal is likely to struggle in finishing among the top 5 teams of the ICC World Cricket League 2 series, the gateway to one-day International World Cup. Of the 8 matches played in the United States and Scotland, Nepal lost 5, won only 2, while tied 1 match. Nepal lost both matches against Namibia, but won only one of the 2 matches against host Scotland. Dismal batting display was the reason for all of Nepal's losses. Cricket experts and analysts have identified the lack of unity among the players as the reason for poor performance of the team. With only 17 points from 20 matches, Nepal's ODI status is also at risk. With the failure in producing expected results, questions have also been raised against CAN for inadequate exposure for the team, with the lack of preparations and practice matches against strong opponents, lack of quality domestic tournaments and failure in selecting better coaches. However, with the National Cricket Governing Body considering alternatives for the current coach, Captain Lamichhane has said that it was not the time for changing the coach. Team Nepal does not have new tournaments lined up in the calendar. In such a situation, how the team makes a comeback by learning from the losses will determine whether the nation will continue to retain its ODI status. The National Sports Council has said that the second round of closed camp for the upcoming Asian Games would be immediately started if it received the names of selected athletes from the respective sports associations. The first phase of the 40-day closed camp for 23 sports selected for the Asian Games has concluded. Athletes selected from the first phase qualify for the second round of the closed camp. However, according to National Sports Council Member Secretary Tankalal Gising, the related sports associations have yet to submit the names of the selected athletes, which has halted the second round of the closed camp. The first round of closed camp had included athletes with domestic performance and medal aspirants at the South Asian Games. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.